Welcome to week 4. We are wrapping up April and we've got such a great week on really trying to work towards building our inner CEO and mastering this inner game. And as we work through that brain, we've done emotional regulation, we've done grounding, we built our leadership function and presence. It's pulling on and creating our self-awareness. And now we are doing interpersonal effectiveness. We're looking at how do we lead people to achieve the outcomes that we want. Because remember, we can't control our outcomes. We can only control processes. But we are in a place where we can put out the process and actually engage effectively to lead people through our door. So let's get started. And if you've ever felt alone on a venture and you know that you want to be able to put yourself out there to build a community, this week is for you. Now that we are grounded, aligned, and leading our inner selves, it's time to direct and lead others. The work begins internally, but it does not end there because outcomes are rarely built alone. This week is about stepping into leadership beyond yourself without abandoning yourself. This is the evolution of the inner CEO. Leading without people-pleasing. Behavior is predictable. When you understand that people protect their identity, that they resist loss, seek belonging, and avoid shame, and that groups drift towards the loudest or most confident voice, you stop taking behavior personally. You stop internalizing resistance as rejection, interpreting discomfort as failure, and stop shrinking when someone pushes back. Instead, you begin to see patterns. And when you see patterns, you can lead intentionally. Interpersonal effectiveness is not about controlling others. It's not about overpowering the room. And it's not about keeping everyone comfortable. It is about staying rooted in your values while influencing the room. It's about speaking clearly without apologizing for existing, about holding boundaries without hostility, and allowing discomfort without collapsing into people-pleasing. When you are grounded, you are steady. When you are aligned, you are clear. When you are leading yourself, you are anchored. And from that place, you can lead others. This week, we practice influence without abandonment, voice without aggression, boundaries without withdrawal, and presence without performance. You are not here to manage everyone's emotions, but you are here to move outcomes forward with integrity. This is leadership with roots. Welcome to this next level of inner CEO. So as we start looking at what leadership is, especially with this interpersonal effectiveness, we have to understand the core concepts of group dynamics. Remember, all of this is in my part 3 of key steps to live a happier, healthier life, interpersonal effectiveness. And I'm pulling from that entire book for this week. So definitely, link is down, go check it out. And what we see in group dynamics is that one of the most basic primitive traumas, which is called ostracizational trauma. I have to say it slow. It's that traumatic. It's really hard to put all those letters together. And what that means is that a deep-seated, rooted, universal construct actually is to belong, to be seen and heard, to feel like you have agency and value, and all of that equals safety. Can you see how all of that plays together when it comes to a group? We're immediately getting to that place, and because we're in that place, we're at 250 feedback loops, so we are well on our way to feeling and becoming disconnected. And so that's why we regress so easily, is because we're back in school. It's a bunch of inner children coming in and playing out the way they survived the schoolyard. and it's so triggering. And so it's so important in those moments to really ground and own your inner CEO so that you can be the boss that you want to be. And one of the biggest traps we get into when it comes to this leadership function around others and interpersonal effectiveness, remember, leadership is a character trait. It's not a position. And one of the ways we get stuck in this is the fact that we want to people please. People pleasing, again, lots of universal constructs. Now we've got attachment drawn in. Let's just move it up to 300 feedback loops. We start to use attachment. People pleasing comes in because attachment, our past stressors, and perceived expectations kind of come together and keep reinforcing us to want to either isolate or overly communicate or overly agree to avoid discomfort. And when all those things are happening, we're really battling one another, and we start to get into these places where we're reducing ourselves, we're reducing our presence in the interaction, and it's going to cause a ton of resentment. And I did a whole article on this resentment and invoicing and this people pleasing and how it's minimizing your interactions. So go check it out. It's really, really important to see how you're showing up so that you can be more aware and know that that's not going to get you that leadership presence that you want. So in this world of social media and all the likes and the followers, and you can actually make, 6 figures a month apparently with enough followers, it's hard to understand this line between influence and approval seeking. And influence is this guided, grounded nature of I just create space, and what you do with the space is whatever you want to do with it. But there's a grounded nature that people want to fall in line with what it is that you're doing because you're having consistent messaging that people can agree with and appreciate and can see where there's purpose behind that message. This kind of social approval is I just need you to like me, and I'm going to say whatever I can, and I hope that you like me, and I hope that we're agreeing on this, and I just need that external validation. So there's this calm and this wisdom that comes with influence, and that's what we're trying to pull from. And that comes from February's Inner North, man, that keeps showing up because it's so important, because you're grounded in your purpose and your value. And when you're doing that, anything is possible. So in the Key Steps book, I talk a lot about behavior being predictable. And behavior being predictable is this idea that when stress comes on, we have very specific ways and triangulated ways that we are going to be interacting. And sometimes it's the Cartman drama triangle, and sometimes it's transactional analysis. But truly, it shows up in predictable ways because we're in a survival stance. And the ways in which we survived in the past, we're going to see that it's going to show up now. And so there's a lot of pieces of how we have to own our dynamic. And I actually have a quiz, so definitely go take a look at our quiz to see how you're showing up in your half of these interactions. That survival dynamic, that defensiveness does show up, and we actually are measuring it so that you can see it. Because here's the deal, if you don't change your half of the dynamic, it will keep showing up over and over again. And so if you've ever been into multiple high stress work environments, guilty. Who's the common denominator? I mean, it was government, but it is also me. It is me. It was nonprofit. It was government. It was state. It was city. It was corporate America. And how I respond. And I have a whole Transformation Thursday to teach you these lessons. I was the one who thought that I could roll up my sleeves, internal locus of control, and kept putting my hand in the pot, and surprised when I get burned out and leave and go and fix some other broken system. That was my passion. It is my passion. I don't apologize for it, but it is me. And if I really want to be able to fix that system, I had to fix me first. I had to make sure that I wasn't just putting my hand in the pot, because taking a leadership approach would say zoom out and see what's going on and find all the moving pieces and encourage with that guiding hand quietly behind to let people make the right decisions that align with the values and the purpose that you want. And that's the big deal, is behavior is predictable. And when you can step back and see the behavior happening, then you have so much more control than the perceived control that you have, because you're jumping right in and trying to get a quick reaction. So how do we do all this? How are we supposed to put our values out there when we know that group dynamics are regressed? The loudest person is going to get the floor. How do we share what our values are? Great question. And how we're going to share what our values are amongst this group dynamic is we're going to be very confident and steady and consistent. Don't get wrapped up because you didn't get the outcome that you want. Remember those processes. Remember, we can only control the processes. So we just put things out there and we give it time and space for people to come to it, because it takes 13 times for adult learners to track and pick up on new concepts. So give people space to have that. Do a lot of yes ands. When people are saying something, tie what they're saying into what the ultimate goal and intention is that is trying to be seen. Zoom out and help people to zoom out so that they can zoom in and be connected to the values that you're sharing. Because if it's coming from your internal core, people are going to listen. It just takes time. And if we put a lot of ego and inner child in front of it, it's going to be hard for people to hear it. But when we have humility and vulnerability behind it, then it's a lot easier for people to receive. And now we have that final piece that pulls all of this together. How do you not collapse under social pressure? It's a hard one. It's a hard one because there's an internal drive, and I have 5 signs that your kind of past is coming up and creeping in on your present. Take a look at that. It's a great article to consider in this space. And understanding your half of the dynamic, what you want to do is you want to be so locked in and solid on your valid data points and letting go of your invalid data points that you can't get mistaken in these other places. And knowing what behavior is and being predictable, and whether or not somebody is on that Cartman drama triangle or asking you, or someone's taking on the parent or the child and implicitly asking you to come in, ground. I can't say it enough. Ground. Find the ground. Take a deep breath. Validate without agreeing. Pivot with an I feel statement and offer the heck out of some boundary statements with perceived control. Wow, it's starting to feel like we've got a lot of passion here, and there's a lot happening and a lot of great ideas. I'm wondering if there is amongst us kind of our passion becoming the one that we're trying to project, and as if there's like a popularity contest and someone has to choose us. I'm wondering what it looks like if we were to zoom out a little bit and we were able to pull common themes that may be coming up, because there's a lot of passion here, there's a lot of good ideas, and there is a central theme here. I'm wondering if we want to just kind of put our zoom outs and the key points of what we're trying to meet and see how everyone comes together, or do we want to be able to create kind of a pot and allow each person to read other people's vision so that they can put it in their own words and see what common themes come out. And what you're doing is you're allowing people to have agency. This is all in the book, by the way. You're allowed to have people to have agency, but ultimately we're no longer bickering and trying to score points. Now we're actually being productive. And we're trying to find the themes that pull people together and get everyone on the same page so that we can pivot in the same place and people feel seen and heard, like they belong. Oh my gosh, there's agency there. So value is right around the corner and safety and security is locked. It's that beautiful. And so as our paid subscribers, obviously they get all the access. They get to do the activities to apply these concepts. They get the reflection questions so they can really see how this is going and it's appearing in their day-to-day so they can make these immediate pivots as they're looking through their day. If you're not yet a paid subscriber, that's okay. We've got high-level content so you can understand what's going on. We've got links so that you can read more. You don't have to do everything. You do have to press play every day, and we've got tons of opportunities for you to press play for only 5 minutes a day, which will make compounded changes in your life and rewire that brain. I'm looking forward to hearing in the comments how things are going. What are your greatest takeaways for the paid subscribers? We've got the chat. So build in our community and offer up any advice, any support, any questions you have. I'm here also for that 15-minute consultation each week to allow you that space to ask questions, to get better feedback on how you can apply this or how it's showing up. We always have the coaching sessions. We've got so much to meet you where you are in your change journey. Don't ever feel like you can't speak up, because there is a platform here and we want to welcome everyone. I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much.